Recording in progress.
So hello and welcome to the Cancer Support Group Mindfulness Meditation session for today, which is the 11th of June. Today, just a gentle guided meditation on body and breath. Nothing too demanding today. But of course, we can't always just click our fingers and have a perfect relaxed body or even a perfectly relaxed mind. So the practice is about inviting just awareness of body and breath and just allow the body to do what it needs to do, allow the mind to do what it's doing. We just decide where we're going to put our focus of attention and just watch what happens. And some days that's relaxing, some days that's not, but that's just the nature of things. So we will begin our practice as always with the invitation to find a posture. And every week or every day when we meditate, it's always nice to begin just by checking in with your energy, the body, the mind, and asking a question. What posture would really support my mindfulness practice right now? And depending, some days we feel quite energetic or quite agitated, and other days maybe more calm or tired. So we can choose to sit or to lie down, whatever suits you best for today. And if you find that you're getting into a habit, so your mindful practice is actually becoming more of a mindless routine, why not choose a different chair or a different bed or a different location to practice, just as a way of keeping you present and keeping you in the here and now. So just using the next minute or so to find your posture. Maybe organize your cushions, your blankets, glass of water, and then using that coming into posture as a way of coming into practice. Beginning to sense all the places where the body is in contact with a floor, a mat, a bed, a chair. Then maybe just lingering to explore the quality of those points of contact. Noticing where in the body we are in contact with that floor, with that chair, or with that mat or bed. Maybe even noticing how the weight is distributed across those different points of contact. Some places might hold more of the body's weight, and others might just be kind of in a supporting role. Seeing if we can discern the different levels of pressure, how the weight is distributed. And as we do this, also recognizing that the body is being supported and held, that we can let go of effort. Just allow the practice to hold you and support you. Allow my voice to guide you. Really just let the words drop in to your practice, if possible without too much thinking. Just let them drop in, see how they land in the body, in the moment. A sense of arriving into practice, letting go of all the things we have to do, like a bag that we carry. We can just put them down, let go of that weight, put it to one side, and just make some space for simply resting in awareness. Arriving into practice, perhaps awareness brings a certain energy, like a like a weather pattern within the body today. Or perhaps awareness of the busy mind, always working, thinking, planning. So as we arrive into practice, we can recognize the energy in the body, the activity in the mind. And if we can, let's invite a little bit of acceptance. Yeah, sometimes we have a tendency to strive for a certain state of being. We want things to be a certain way. But for our practice, can we find a way to just accept what is here and make it part of our practice today? So, what we find in muscles, in heartbeat, in temperature, what we find in the energy of the mind or the body, can we just turn a kind of curious but also caring and loving gaze on what we find and invite a sense of just accepting ourselves as we are today. And then just observing what happens as we stay as the observer of body and mind as we go through our practice. And so we might begin by just allowing that awareness of body and of thinking to go a little bit into the background and turn our attention now more inward towards anywhere that we can feel the movement of breathing present in the body today. And perhaps we feel that more today in the belly, or maybe in the chest, or perhaps even through mouth and nose. And there's no obligation here to, have a really good connection with the breathing. Just simply invite our attention towards any movement that we feel in the body, any movement from in breath and out breath. Just resting our attention there and allowing the movement to come into that space of awareness in its own time and in its own way. And around this awareness of the movement of breathing, sometimes we become aware of many other things happening, noises in the world around us, or sensations in the body, or thought patterns that are going around in the mind. We can say, well done for being aware, this mindful awareness of all the different layers of our experience right now. So well done for noticing that all these things are part of the present moment. But then we can say, right now, I want to focus more on the movement of breathing and just allow the other things to drift into the background. Let's keep returning attention to the movement of the next in breath, the next out breath. And that's really our first exercise of mindfulness, the ability to choose our focus of attention, to be aware that the mind wanders all over the place, that there are distractions all the time that pull us one way or another, and that the magic of mindful awareness gives us this agency, this choice to just let all that go and just return our attention to the movement of in-breath and out-breath. As a compassionate practice, we can imagine the movement of breathing to be a bit like a hammock, gently rocking in a summer's breeze, or maybe just like the movement of floating on gentle waves on a summer sea. This natural rhythm of in-breath and out-breath. And there's no special type of breathing required. If there's any thinking coming up around, is the breathing too much this or not enough that, then can we just let that thinking go? Drop under into a place without words, a place where we simply observe the movement of the breath and the body that breathes all by itself in its own way. And just maintain that curiosity. Where is the movement felt? On the in-breath and on the out-breath. And if you want, you might just rest in the breathing for the rest of our practice today. But if you're open for a little bit of an exploration, we can invite our attention now down towards the feet and just carry out a little bit of a body scan. Again, there's no effort here. We simply turn our curiosity towards the feet. Connect in a way that has no words, just aware of any physical sensations. And there's no purpose or goal here except just to use the feet as a focus of attention. Be curious to what comes into awareness. Can we discern the difference between toes, big toes, little toes? What about sensations on the sole of the foot? Maybe an awareness of different intensities of sensation. Sometimes they can be quite strong, and other times just really subtle, almost like a whisper. What about awareness of muscles or bones in the foot? If we invite this curiosity into, well, can we actually discern the solid bones? Can we feel if the muscles are tense or relaxed? And on the skin, any sensations perhaps of temperature, an awareness of contact with air or shoes or socks? Perhaps awareness of sensations within the foot, maybe tingling or pulsing. Maybe awareness of places where the feet are in contact with floor or mat or bed. And if we have any awareness that what we find is pleasant or unpleasant, then well done for noticing that natural human capacity for emotional reaction. Just notice what it is and breathe a little bit of softness and recognition, acceptance to what we find. When we're ready, we can take a breath in, recognizing all we have noticed in the feet, all we've noticed within ourselves as we focus on the feet. On an out breath, we can let that all go. Come back to resting with the movement of the breathing in belly or chest or mouth or nose. In breath, out breath. Feel the body supported by the bed, the mattress, the chair. And just remind yourself that there's no effort here at all. Simply resting in awareness and inviting a focus of attention that shifts from one place to another. So when you're ready, let's see if we can invite our curiosity towards the legs. Yeah, perhaps we can connect with the shins, the calf muscles, the lower leg, the knees, and then the thighs. There's possibly a lot going on or not very much, but let's just invite curiosity. Turn that spotlight of attention towards the legs, and then just be curious what actually comes into awareness. Are there any sensations on the skin? And if so, can we tell the difference between contact with fabric or contact with surface, contact with air? Notice all the different types of sensations that are present on the skin. Notice maybe even where each of these is felt. Going deeper, what about the muscles? Anywhere that we can feel muscles relaxed. And if so, just linger, explore what that feels like. Explore where in the leg those relaxed muscles are located. And we can perhaps notice muscles that are tense or sore. Again, just being curious. Where do we feel this, and what are the actual details of those sensations? Is there a certain intensity, or maybe a pulsing, a sense of temperature? Is it a aching, a burning, a pulling? Is it specific to certain muscles? And once we've recognized this, there's always the invitation to bring a little bit of self-care. We can breathe some softness around what we find, and even, just adjust our posture a little bit, see if that changes anything. Just notice what happens as we invite some self-care. Again, there might be an emotional reaction, a liking, a disliking, a wishing for some nice sensations to stay or unpleasant to go away. And the body, the mind are alive and dynamic, and constantly we have these emotional responses that come up to experience. So well done for noticing. They're definitely part of our practice too. Then on an out breath, like inviting some gentle compassion around what we find. On an in breath, we can recognize everything we've encountered as we rest attention in the legs. On an out breath, we can let it all go. Come back to an in breath, an out breath, place of rest. On another in breath, invite attention to the pelvis, up through the pelvis, through the back, up to the shoulders. Again, we're not looking for every little detail, just inviting the body to attract your curiosity, maybe towards a particular sensation in pelvis or back or shoulders. Just be with the body and what it wants you to listen to pay attention to. A real sense of tuning in, connecting, listening, being present. Focusing on body and sensation. Whatever we find, again, just bring a curiosity. Is this got a particular intensity, location, quality of sensation, a tingling, a pulsing, a tension, a holding, or something else? And we just explore. Maybe there's movement in the back as you're breathing, as you're sitting. Be aware of all those tiny micro adjustments that the body makes when we're maintaining a certain posture. We're not rigid like a statue. The body is dynamic and always little micro movements and adjustments that we can tune into, be aware of. Again, if we find anything that feels particularly pleasant or unpleasant, just being with that reaction. Again, tuning in maybe to how that feels in itself, that feeling of pleasure or discomfort. And if we feel that there's anywhere in the back or the pelvis or shoulders that would benefit from a little bit of tender, loving care, we can breathe some softness and kindness and tenderness into those places. Let them know they've been heard and that they are loved and cared for. On an in-breath, we recognize everything we found between the pelvis and the shoulders and all the emotions that come up around these things. On an out-breath, we can let them go. Come back to just resting in the next in-breath, out-breath. And then if you want, on the next in-breath, we could turn our attention, our curiosity down into the arms, flowing from the shoulders down through the upper arms, elbows and forearms, and into the hands and the fingers. Again, we're not looking to notice everything, just asking a question, allowing the body to answer. What's drawing my attention today in the arms or the hands or the fingers? It might be something on the skin or the muscles or the bones. When a sensation arises, again, might be quite strong or very, very subtle. You just notice and observe what happens as we explore that tingle or that breath of air on the skin or whatever sensation is here. If we need to make any gentle, subtle movements, the body will tell you what to do. If we recognize any comfort or discomfort, can we just accept that it is here and make that part of our awareness? Allowing our emotions to be heard is just as important as our connection to body or connection to mind. So it's a real radical act of self-care to allow those emotions to be felt and heard, allow them to flow. When we're ready, let's breathe some tender care into anything that needs a bit of love in the arms or the hands or fingers today. Any tingling or numbness, any tenderness, or even any agitation or stress that's being held somewhere in the muscles. Just connecting and tuning in and allowing the body to know it's been heard, that it's loved and cared for. Then on an in-breath, we can recognize everything that we have experienced in our little time that we spent with the arms and the hands. On an out-breath, we can let it all go. Come back to just breathing. In-breath and out-breath. Feeling the body supported by mat or cushion or bed, held and received, effortless. And if you wish, we can now invite attention towards the neck, the throat, through the jaw, the tongue, mouth, face, nose, eyes, the forehead, the scalp, ears. Again, we're not looking to notice everything, just opening a question, a space, seeing what the body has to say today in the head, the neck, the jaw, the face. Perhaps there's an awareness of air on the skin or temperature inside the body, outside the body. Maybe some very subtle sensations like the touching of lips or eyelids, the tongue inside the mouth. And again, tuning in if there's any muscles that feel tense or holding, or anywhere that feels relaxed, at ease. Being curious as to maybe the intensity of a sensation or a particular location. If there's any emotional energy within what we find, if we can, just allowing that also to be recognized and heard, felt, experienced. There's no right way or wrong way to feel, to think, or to be. We invite an open-minded curiosity, a compassionate acceptance, recognition of anything the body, the emotions are experiencing. Of course, we can breathe into that a recognition of comfort or discomfort, of pleasant or unpleasant, a caring and compassionate breathing in around those places, connecting and tuning into body, emotions, thoughts. And when we're ready, just taking an in breath to notice, recognize everything that we have experienced while connecting to the head, the face, the neck. And then on an out breath, we can let that all go. And for the last 5 minutes of our practice, just resting with the breath. As we breathe in, as we breathe out, just feeling the whole body connected together, alive, breathing, blood circulating. As you breathe in and breathe out, allowing maybe the legs to just be held more by the surface beneath you. Rest. Let go of all the effort. They might just feel that little bit heavier. And come back to breathing. On an in-breath and an out-breath, we can let the arms feel supported and received by the mat or the bed. They might feel that little bit heavier. As we breathe in, breathe out, allowing the head and the neck to let go of effort, to be held and received by the cushion, the pillow. Perhaps allowing the head just to feel that little bit heavier. On an in-breath and out-breath, allowing the back, the belly, the torso to let go of all the effort, just to be held and supported by the mattress, the mat, the bed. Allow the whole body to feel just that little bit heavier. We just rest with the breathing and the body. And also recognizing this beautiful act of self-care just simply by connecting to your mindfulness practice today, giving yourself this little oasis in the middle of your day and your week to connect to body, emotions, and thoughts, to connect with you at the heart of everything, and to invite some compassion and gentleness and tenderness around your ongoing experience moment by moment. And remembering that, really mindfulness is there all the time, every day. You can connect to your breathing, connect to different sensations in the body. Recognize the flow of emotions. Accept the, the interesting patterns of thought that are racing around in the mind. And always invite this caring and compassionate, mindful awareness to our ongoing moment by moment experience. Just one breath and we are present, even if just for a moment. We get that special connection to well-being and self-care. So for now, though, let's see if we can bring our formal practice to an end. And you have this recording to come back to anytime you want through the week. You can end your practice if you like just by wiggling your fingers or your toes, noticing that movement. Your body might then say it wants a little stretch or a readjustment after being still for about an hour. Maybe you feel the need to yawn. Take a deeper breath. Sigh. And when you're ready, you get a sense of opening your eyes, taking in the room around you. I'm going to end the recording there, and I'll post it through email for those of us who want to watch it through the week. Continue the practice, and for those of us in Zoom, it's time for us to come have a little chat about the practice from today.